What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. Meaning that we don't do an album versus album. We haven't had any in a long time. And the reason why is because I've been so preoccupied with everything else. After 20, I just stopped because I've been so preoccupied with everything else that's going on. So now we're ready for the new chapter of album versus album. We can continue on now. We've taken care of a lot of the other things that we needed to do. So let's move with the album versus album. Organized Konfusion versus CL, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, Mecca and the Soul Brother. Oh! Now, people gonna jump out their bag and be like, man, what's going on here? So this is volume 21, by the way, for those who couldn't keep count. And let's get into it. First, Mecca and the Soul Brother, what happened was that I had Organized Konfusion and I had an EP that came with it called All Sold Out. And the EP had these songs on there, just like 4 or 5 commercial songs of the upcoming album of Pete Rock and CL Smooth. So I got both at one time. So I was able to hear some songs already on the album that was going to be on Pete Rock and CL Smooth coming up. But it was in a package deal with Organized Konfusion when I got it. This is back in 91, fellas. So most of you weren't born, so I forgive you. So at this time, you can either get the tape or you could get the record. So I had the cassette demo. You know, you got like a maxi CD, like, oh man, like a maxi cassette rather. So I'm like, alright, cool, bet. So the first thing I listened to was the EP before I listened to Organized Konfusion. Organized Konfusion came in and took the people by storm. And I mean the people, I mean underground hip-hop. And kids, the young people, I want you to understand this. These are the first backpack rappers that ever lived. These are your first backpack rappers. Pharaoh Monk and Prince Poe were the first MCs I've ever seen that were backpack rappers, and proud of it. They started a trend. And they were from Queens. So as I'm listening to All Sold Out, I'm like, whoa, this is dope. I'm like, this album here might be a smash. And everybody else like, did you get this sample? Did they give you a sample one for free called All Sold Out? I'm like, yeah. Means like, this thing is dope. What is this? I'm like, who is this? This is somebody named Pete Rock and CL Smooth. I'm like, yeah, it came with my Organized Konfusion. And he was like, oh, you got the Organized? Let's hear what that sound like. It was like night and day. You heard with Organized Konfusion, you heard a whole new free, completely free of any type of structure of how to do things. The first song we heard from them was Who Stole My Last Piece of Chicken? And we laughed so hard, just like off the title and playing the song, we like, whoa, this is something serious. Then we heard, Fudge Pudge, and said, man, this is incredible. Walk into the sun. Open your eyes. Oh my God. Then Releasing Hypnotic Gases is by far the best song on the album to me. The best beat, everything. The weirdness, the water drops. The Pharaoh Monk just explode on this track. As soon as the track hits, he just go. And it's off to the races. And the thing about this, it's like so free-form rap. It's backpack rap. It's like the rhymes you would kick when you in a cypher with your boys and y'all just spitting to the beat. This album was in every upcoming rapper's home, every producer's home, from the RZA. Everybody who was in rap today had this Organized Konfusion record. It was so free-form hip-hop that it took you by surprise. Because 91 might have been the most creative year of the MC world. Because the people were out branching, trying to expand. Like, we finna just do our own thing and come up with creative ways, creative beats, and making new sounds. They sounds are something like, man, I've heard this somewhere before, but not like this. You know, and they did. They opened a lot of people's eyes to a whole new world that they weren't even ready for. Audience pleasers. Another one, Prisoners of War. I mean, Organized, by far, it was like, I mean, I don't even know what to say here. This is like one of the shock of the hours, because when they came out, the underground world all had their tapes. So they were like one of the most bootleg rap groups of all times too. Wasn't a lot of people running out to the stores buying it because everybody had the tapes. And then everybody would dub a tape for their boy and everything else, and it was like cool. Their music was everywhere, but people weren't running out to buy it because they already had it. It was like, man, we got it. My man dubbed it for me, and nobody who was in the working force world was running out to buy Organized Konfusion. This is like the kids, the youth, all these dudes who was in the DJ scratching. This was their mix. Organized was your album. So while everybody is like loving the album, it had commercial success as far as like very little commercial success, but it had underground success. Like the rap reviews and everything about this album was immaculate. Couldn't be topped. Then comes that mini max tape we had. Mecca and the Soul Brother. Once that dropped, it was, oh baby. Remember this song from when we had it on that EP they gave us for free? Yeah. They got the whole album out now. Word? That's how things used to be marketed back then. You'll have a 2-3 hit single or whatever, or a little mini mixtape. You could put it out to sell for $5.99. Some record stores will give it to you for free if it ain't moving, if you buy a record. And see, here in Chicago, we had to buy the record. We didn't have it like on the East Coast, where they can just dub it and pass it on, dub and pass. You know, we had to get it ourselves and go buy it. And we was kids, you know, we wasn't working, you know, so it was, Mom give us some money, you know, we was like, bet. Records then was $7.99. See, that's something y'all didn't know either. If y'all bought the record or tape or CD, it was $7.99 in the store. Or you might get the sale of $6.99. But it was $7. You can get 2 for $14. But Mecca and the Soul Brother, that album was like, it was so well produced and organized with the hooks that Pete was doing, Pete Rock, that when they did Return of the Mecca, and all of these songs were like, wow, straighten it out. I'm like, oh man. He took samples from songs that you heard before but didn't really get that much attention. He wasn't taking the popular samples. and the way he was scratching and mixing on it and making it smooth to CL's, it fit CL's rap style so vivid. And the way CL rap was all story based. He was a great story based rapper where you're drawn into the lyrics and everything that he's saying. So it's always a debate on which album of theirs was the best. But like The Basement was hot, had Heavy D on there, because you know you can't. They both from Mount Vernon, so you can't do a Mount Vernon, be from Mount Vernon, and don't put Heavy D on a track. You know, so I mean, Return to Mecca, always a classic, but people love, they reminisce over you. It was so smooth. The chicks loved it. It was a great first record to come out with. Great timing. Straighten It Out, of course, was the second one. Then Lots of Lovin', you know, come on behind that. But they were like the smooth hip hop, so where the chicks got into it, you know. The chicks was bobbing their head to it. So when your chicks are bobbing their head, so it was like the female hip hop album, you know, and it was dope. You know, for hip hop and a rap album, you're gonna give it every praise in the book. But putting this album up against Organized Konfusion, lyrically, I'm gonna go more with a formatic style of CL Smooth. CL was more like song structured. They were more free form. It's very hard to do the comparison. But of an overall better album, it all depends. I played Organized Konfusion album a lot more than Pete Rock and CL Smooth. And the reason why is because Organized beats, you play that from track one, everybody just freestyling all through the rhyme. Every beat that come on, you freestyle. Boom, 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 boom. You'll play that back, you'll be freestyling to the entire, every track that come on. Here you mostly listen to the songs, like, yeah, that's dope. Yeah, you might do that to a couple of tracks on here, but then they got kind of a sameness to them. You know, and like Skins, everybody like them. But this is not like, people are like, it's one of the greatest albums of all time. To me, it's not. It is a great album, but to me, it's not one of the greatest albums of all time. And to tell you the truth, the main ingredient is better than this album. And you can ask any producer, any rapper, to ever get in there and to rap, ask them which album is better, Mecca the Soul Brother or The Main Ingredient, and see what they tell you. Any producer. Ask a producer, somebody who make beats. He could be a local producer. Say, I want you to listen to these two albums. Listen to Mecca the Soul Brother and listen to The Main Ingredient. Have them listen to Organized Konfusion. That's another one. Because Organized Konfusion album, production-wise, is amazing. And I didn't even know those producers. I'm like, man, these dudes are incredible. So, I'm going to go with Organized Konfusion with this one. Y'all tell me what y'all think. It's your boy Carcino. I'm out.